Good evening. Happy Monday. Welcome to Creations by Gwili. I am Gwili. Ed's behind the camera again tonight, and going to try to catch any questions that you might have throughout the live. And if he doesn't see them, or don't worry about it, I always go back and read the comments and try to respond to you. Let me get it pulled up on my phone and make sure, all right, that we're on. And that's not it, that's the egg from a couple of weeks ago. Okay, looks like we're on. It looks weird, but we're there. Good evening. Hi ladies, hi Carrie. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. I know we've done a lot with napkins, and I've shown you the normal things with napkins. Tonight we're going to go over a couple of techniques that might be new to you. What? Ed can't get his...
I got it, but it won't bring up the comment.
Here, you had it where you would comment. Hey Brenda. Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate it. Oh, I see something new. Carrie Marie is watching. Bring them on camera. You want to go on camera, Carrie? I've never seen that before. Okay, you should be able to read them. Okay, I've set the timer for our happy mail tonight. But let's just talk about the napkins, and then there's a few things I want to go over with you tonight. I don't know how many of you have tried using the cling wrap to secure napkins. I tried it on a board about a month ago because I wanted to see if it would really hold and stand up to the test of time, and it seems to hold really well. But I will tell you, the little bitty travel iron that I had, I could not get it to work with that. I think the iron probably just didn't get hot enough, but a regular iron. But we're going to do that tonight with this small little bunny napkin, and I have this cute little bitty mini breadboard basically. But the first thing I want to do is paint it white. Now, you wouldn't have to do this step, but I like to paint anything that I'm doing with napkins white underneath, because that just causes your colors to pop. If you want something very vintage, then you can have a darker color underneath and it mutes the colors of your napkin. But we're just going to paint this right quick, so it's got time to, well, it didn't open my paint. Ah, got it. I'm strong.
It smells
Yeah,
like
I know.
everything.
Ed's favorite saying. Okay, and I don't have to be precise. I don't really want the edges of this little thing painted, so I'm not going to get real close to the edges, and that's okay. It'll make the edges look a little distressed. I just want the middle where the little bunny's going to be. And I have my heat gun over here, but I don't think I'll have to use it because we've got several things we're going to talk about. And this will just be a really thin coat. It won't take it but a second to dry. And then I'm going to show you the technique with the cling wrap. I personally like Mod Podge, you know, but maybe you don't have any Mod Podge and you're out, or you just want to try something different. To me, the Mod Podge just seems simpler. Okay, let me get this back on here. I think that's all I was going to paint tonight. Ed, you want to put this brush in the water over there for me? And I do. One little bitty thing, and I get it all over my hands. Sometimes, I don't know, do y'all struggle with the lids to this stuff? It's like if you don't get it on there right, it's almost like it goes a little ways and then it clicks. Okay, let me wipe this off my hands. Hey Karen, you're bowling. Karen, I'm glad you're on here. I know we talked, and that's one thing I want to talk to y'all about, is the stencil. Remember we talked about getting a picture frame and stenciling on the picture frame. Well, I tried that this weekend, so let's talk about that for a second. I went and bought this 8.5 by 11 picture frame, and I used the canvas panel, 8 by 10 canvas panel, And that's what I stenciled the old rugged cross to. Now, first of all, this looks fine, but you can tell here that it does not get the whole sign. The stencil's actually larger. If you want to be able to read everything, bottom, notes, and everything, I would suggest a 11 by 14 instead of the 8 by 10. The same with the cross. Now, I did stencil the glass. I used paste for the canvas and ink for the glass. And I did just set it with my blow dry tool. But
Kind of hold it against the yellow when they can, the background, wall background.
Okay, the wall background's red.
Go down.
All right.
Down.
Okay. I will put it back under there in a minute. I'm afraid I'm gonna drop the glass out. Okay, now another thing I want to tell you about this, it cut off the end of the cross. It looks fine, but with the canvas panels, you don't have to worry about your paint peeling up. The only thing is, see, they're not real thick at all, but they're thick enough that once you put the panel in there, and then you go to put your backing on there, the backing is supposed to slip down in a little slot there. It does not fit exactly. Now, that's why I had this piece of cardboard in there. This is for me, and like I said, it looks fine. But that's if you want to prop it up. This was just a cheap picture frame from Michael's. You can take, see, it likes just a hair. I mean, not much.
Well, it's made for a picture, not.
Yeah, it's made for a piece of paper, a picture in there.
Not a canvas.
The other thing about this frame that I didn't notice at the time, I think that's supposed to go underneath, is the fact that that's where your hanger is at on this picture frame. And if you took tape and sealed this, I'm afraid it would pull the backing off. But now, I could use it just to prop it up, you know. But if you're going to hang it on the wall, you don't want to tape this on and then try to hang it. It's going to pull. Now, so what I did is I found a piece of cardboard and I just put it in there. I probably will just take this and run some black tape across it and just prop it up. It's fine for me. But if I was to make it to sell, I probably would go up in size with the frame. Now this does make the song look a little larger, and it does get the last line. It doesn't get the notes, and it doesn't get, I think it's got all the words on both sides. It just doesn't have the sides of the music. But if you like that, that's fine. But be careful of what kind of backing it's got on it. If you put a backing on this and sealed it with black tape or something, then I would put some sort of hanger on the wood itself, which is probably not real wood, you know. Or go up in size to like an 11 by 14. Your other option, you remember we talked about, I said you probably could just use this panel, but this particular panel has got holes. I had thought I could just paint this white and then stencil right on this. If you don't have to put the panel between the glass and the backing, you're fine. If you can get a frame that doesn't have the holes, your 11 by 14 might not have these holes in it, and you could do that. Your only other option would be to take a piece of paper and paint it, or, well, it's white paper. You need to, before you put that sticky stencil on that paper though, it's going to need to be treated with something to keep you from ripping your paper. You can stencil on scrapbook paper, so you just have to be careful. That is a pretty large stencil though, with a lot of words. I would just, you know, it's perfect for pillows and stuff, but it's honestly a little bit too big for an 8 by 10 frame. If you painted a piece of cardboard or something, not as thick as this canvas panel, then I would treat it with either the spray Rust-Oleum or I would treat it with wax. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. I was trying to tell Ed about it earlier and it didn't make any sense to him. So hopefully that made sense to y'all. Like I said, this for me is fine. I'm just going to either leave this piece off altogether and seal this with a piece of brown paper, you know, like Hobby Lobby seals stuff. And then, you know, because I wasn't going to hang it on the wall anyway.
Jan Marie said would 11 or 14 work or even bigger frame?
I really believe the 11 by 14 would work fine. Because it only cut off a little of the cross and it cut off the edges here. Your thing would be whatever you decide to stencil on. I like stenciling on these canvases. Now they do make this canvas in 11 by 14, but you're going to have the same problem. You don't have to treat it with anything. It's the thickness, and you can see it's not really very thick at all. But I like them because you don't have to worry about pulling paint off. If you take a piece of cardboard or something and paint it white, you're going to have to treat it, or your stencil is going to pull the paint off. There again, even 11 by 14, if you're not concerned about putting the exact backing on it, which that wouldn't be any big deal unless it's one that sets up, you know, the tabletop like this. If you don't put that backing on it, it's not going to set up. But if you're not concerned with that, then, and like I said, you could make it fit, but I was scared I was going to break my frame. It's just barely.
If you glue
barely too big.
If you glue some little 8-inch stuff or 1/8-inch stuff on the back, it might work.
Glue stuff here?
No, on the frame itself. Just lengthen the mount that was holding it so you could go thicker.
Yeah, and the only problem with doing that is you still, if you're going to hang it, you're pulling on this one little piece. And it's just a cheap frame. Well, it wasn't that cheap. I think it was $19.99, but I got it like 60% off. But anyway, I wanted to tell y'all about that because we had talked about that. You might want to go up. Like I said, this works fine for me. I'm going to put it on my fireplace. And I probably will just take something so dust doesn't get in here. And I won't even use this probably.
We don't have dust.
Yeah. I'll just take brown craft paper and cut a piece and put across there, or a piece of material or felt. Felt would be fine. But if you're making them to sell, just make sure you think it through, that you're able to put the backing on it. But if you're doing it just for you, I thought the black would be really pretty. And it is pretty. It's a pretty picture. But anyway, I wanted to do that and test it out for y'all. Like I said, and I can tell this is sticky, but it doesn't wipe off, and it's not gonna get wet in your house.
And Travis wants to know if your family in Appleton, did they have any damage last week?
No, they didn't. How about you, Ann? I know you're Bruton, which I think my sister, I think when I called her about something, she was actually in Bruton at the Walmart. But they didn't. They all came through just fine, just a lot of rain. Now, my sister kind of lives way, way back, like at Appleton on this dirt road. I don't know how many acres she's got back there. But it's just that red clay, red dirt. In fact, when we came back, first thing Ed had to do, did you wash the truck before we ever left Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that red dirt's just awful. But thank you for asking. No, they all came out just fine. Okay, now that y'all have any questions about the frame? Okay, if you do, I'll get to them when Ed sees them or later. Okay, now, I have this pretty napkin. Some of your napkins, if you notice, when you fold them out, you don't just have 4 squares. This is one that you pretty much have 2 different seams. So always think outside the box when you're looking around. I found this frame at, it was normally $9.99 and I got it for $2.40 at Hobby Lobby. It had something written on it and it was all black. I just painted over it with white. Grab things like this when you see them because you can paint over whatever is on it. And they put their seasonal stuff on sale and it just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper. But I wanted to do this as a shelf sitter. And I wanted to put these bunnies across here. Now I've already painted it, same time. I have already put Mod Podge on this one. But what I wanted to show you that's a little bit different, you have two options when you have something like this. I don't know if you can tell, but this frame, normally when we put on a napkin, we go all the way to the edge and then we sand it. That works perfect. But this one actually has like an indentation. And sometimes they're raised, sometimes they're a little bit lower. So I don't want my napkin going to the edge. So you've got two options. I could take the napkin, line it up here, exactly on the bottom, and then cut real close right here, and just like take something, once I Mod Podge it on there, and just run it, push it in that little line. Or you can use what they call the water pen. You know how you can get water on your napkin and tear it? A water pen works great for that, and that's what I'm going to kind of show you, and it'll blend in around the edges. But the first thing you're going to have to do, of course, is separate your napkin. I have found the best trick for that is just to use a little bit of tape, and I'm going to start this in. Just some napkins are 2, your better napkins are 3-ply. Take your tape and just pull. This one is 3-ply. See, there's one, and there's another one right under it. So your napkin is going to be very delicate, but you always want to pull as many plies. You want to get to that top ply. If I was just to take this and Mod Podge it on here, it's the bottom ply that's going to stick, not the top one. So the first thing you do is just pull off those other plies and just...
Carrie Marie says never heard of a water pen.
Yeah, just, I ordered them, I actually got 2 in a pack. Now, I think they came from China or somewhere because I was trying to read why there were 2 in there, and it's all symbols and stuff I don't understand. But they look like this. There was 2 in a pack. You can do the same thing with a small paintbrush. Just dip it in water and go around your napkin. But I wanted to try these. This is the first time I've used it. So what I'm going to do is just lay
Looks like a hypodermic with a fat end.
I'm going to lay my napkin in the
Sandy
fan.
Renshaw says hi.
Hi, Sandy. All right, if you can see, can y'all see the tip to that? It's just a little, it's a brush. And it makes it so easy. Up, there's our, can you cut it off? There's our thing for Happy Mail. So, okay, let me just kind of go back through here. All right, Maria Francisco is the name I see. Maria, you are going to get some napkins. This is the Happy Mail for tonight. So you're going to get this cute napkin that I'm working on. You're going to get my, y'all know this is my favorite napkin ever. You're going to get the little bunny. You're going to get one of the mini boards. And then my neighbor gave me these cute napkins. Look at this, y'all. Isn't that cute? And there's like 6 of them on this napkin. Now, I can't tell you if it's 2-ply or 3-ply. Probably 3-ply. But anyway, you're going to get this napkin and you're going to get this little board to put the napkin on. So Maria, if you will send me, private message me your address, I'll get these out in the mail to you. And thank you so much for watching. Okay. Y'all don't go away because I'm actually going to have another giveaway after a while. And I shouldn't use that word. All right, so let me see where I kind of, I'm not going to do the bottom. I'm going to leave it straight. But I kind of want to go right about there. And just barely the edges on the side. Okay, so the way you use the pen, take off the little cap, and then you're just going to...
Kelly Marie says you're not going in. Yeah.
You're just going to start, and Ed may have to zoom in as I get on up here. You're just wetting the napkin, and then you take your fingers and you see how it just tears. Like I said, you can do the same thing with a regular paintbrush, but the pen makes it real easy. So I'm just...
Right. Paintbrush wouldn't be as
fast.
Precise.
Yeah. Well, you don't really want straight lines anyway. Okay. So I'm going to come up on this side.
Maria says, thank you. I never win anything.
Ah, well, you did tonight. So I'm just running. I'm really not having to squeeze. Now, I had to get it going. I had to squeeze a little bit. But if you can see how it's just kind of ripping the edges, and then when I put it on there, it's going to blend in with my paint a little bit. Okay, here's going to be the top. So I'm just going to come across the top and rub this water pen and then just pull. This is just a good way to do it when you're not going edge to edge. Okay, let's see if that's going to do.
How much was the pen?
You know, I don't know, to tell you the truth. They weren't real expensive. Just go to Amazon. I'm going to have to cut off some more. Go to Amazon and just search water pen. I kind of want my bunny in the middle right there. Okay, so I'm going to take off some more.
Kelly Marie says, I'm amazed and amused.
Amazed and amused. I have done this before using a paintbrush, but man, this just makes it so much easier.
It wouldn't work on anything thicker, though.
I think it probably would work on scrap paper. I mean, I'm really not having to push or anything. I'm just running it over that. But you do, of course, want it, you know, smaller than your board.
But that's not easier than sanding it off if you can get access to the corner, correct?
Well, it just depends on, you know, the board that you're using. This one, it would be pretty hard to sand off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be pretty hard to sand it off because of the edge on it. And it'll just give it a little different look than everything else I've done. I mean, I still have the Mod Podge there. We're still going to use the iron method for this one. Okay, so that just kind of gave it the torned edge. So we're still on this one going to use the Old Faithful Mod Podge, which is still my favorite. Okay. So I'm going to lay the napkin on there and get my parchment paper. And I did get out my regular iron tonight.
You've already got the Mod Podge on?
Yeah, I'd already put the Mod Podge on there earlier today. Okay. Now see, the little travel iron would probably gone up into the edges better. That's pretty flat there. And I turned it down a while ago. I might could turn it up, but I think that's gonna be okay. Make sure I don't burn myself. Now see, if you didn't want to do the edges, you could just get it really close and then take something like an X-Acto knife and go down that line and push, you know, you could push the rest of your napkin down in that line. But you can see, this just gives it a different look. I don't know how well you can see. I like this edge. This really ended up kind of being straight. This one kind of went crazy right here. But that's okay. It's just a totally different look. Now I could still put beads on this. I could, if you want to make it look a little 3D, you could take a little butterfly and put over the butterfly. You could put a little bit of green grass right down here at the bottom. I'll wait and decide for sure where I'm going to put it before I decide that. But that was the water pen. And did you see well enough on how I did that, the water pen? Like I said, it's just a little brush, and it unscrews right here, and you just fill this little thing up with water, and then you have to squeeze it just a little bit to get it down into the brush, and then just run the brush. That snaps on. So this was the first time I had used that, and I like that. Okay, this is dry, so now we're going to see if this works with the regular iron. I will tell y'all that the first time I did it with the one over there that I've had up for a month, it didn't work. And like I said, I finally decided that it was probably my iron wasn't hot enough.
You were using a little travel iron.
Yeah. So we're going to try this on. Now they did say, of course, you don't want to use anything except like a clear cling wrap. I'm going to take these pieces apart. See how easy that came off? Now that was just one piece, and so let's see if there's another one. Yeah, I believe there is. There's the other one. This is the best way I've seen. After I saw somebody do it, I thought, oh man, because I would take my fingers and I'd end up with one corner gone from the napkin. All right, so there's those. And some people save this for filling and stuff. I have enough stuff everywhere. I didn't need to save that. So before I tear off my cling wrap, see how that makes the colors just pop on that little bunny? Now I'm almost going to get some ears there, which that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one.
Karen and Miss Maria said they love that pattern.
This little bunny?
Yeah.
It's cute. I think I have this one. Now this one I got from somewhere else, but I think I have this one in one of my napkin bundles. If you enjoy using napkins and you want some pretty napkins, I have several in my Etsy shop under kits. I have several bundles of napkins. And I believe this little bunny is in the spring 2022. Okay. All right, so I'm going to get a piece of cling wrap and we're going to try this.
Karen Marie said I got booted and didn't hear if the water pan was refillable. It was. Correct?
Yes, I will show you again. I've got a fan over here and it's trying to blow all my stuff off. Karen, oh, was that Carrie Marie or Karen?
Karen Marie.
Okay, it looks like this. This bottom unscrews and that's where you put your water in. Now how long the brush will last, I don't know. I mean, you're not really pushing on it. It's pretty thin. Okay, so let's get this. I'm going to lay this on here, and I probably will trim it just a little bit because I just don't know about all that excess. All that cling wrap. which I hate cling wrap anyway, y'all. But it does work. I was surprised. I'll show you the one I played with. I'm assuming it needs to be straight. I'm just wondering if it's gonna stick to my mat. We're fixing to find out. Okay, then you wanna put your, so what this does, it's using this cling wrap as the glue. You're not using Mod Podge or anything. You're just using that cling wrap. And something tells me I just need not have all this excess cling wrap everywhere.
Karen said thank you for showing her again.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. And like I said, just, I ordered them months ago and I just hadn't got around to trying them. So I don't remember what they cost, but they weren't real expensive, I'm sure. And I wouldn't tell you with Ed sitting here anyway. It's like, oh yeah, Ed.
Hey, I've had an open heart. I don't want to know what she spent.
He just doesn't even ask anymore. Okay. Now, I did discover you have to be very careful in laying your parchment paper down because that napkin can move on you. Okay. Here we go, y'all. Let's see. Turn it up a little bit. I think it takes a little bit longer for it to get through there too. But like I said, if you don't have Mod Podge, you know, I'm not against trying new things. All right, there it didn't stick. Looks like the edges need a little bit. It is melting. But you can tell it takes a little bit longer than reactivating the Mod Podge. And while it's cooling, I'm going to show you, my question was too, I wanted to know if I could use my stencils on a napkin and it not pull up the napkin. So I'm going to show you, that's the reason I did this on a board a while back. About a month ago, if not longer. Okay. Well, it looks like, no, that edge is not stuck. So I'm going to have to go over it again. Right there. So see, it does take longer. But it's a very smooth. I mean, you don't have the wrinkles that you get sometimes with Mod Podge, but you know, I don't get that many wrinkles when I iron anyway. What? You don't say anything about my wrinkles.
No, I was saying about the fact I had to feed the iron.
Oh, yeah. We went and got Ed a couple of new shirts this week, and several of them he picked up, he liked, and I'm like, you know I'm not ironing that. He likes those, is it Stanford?
Yeah, Oxford
The
cloth.
Oxford cloth, and you know, they're hard to find. Okay, it looks like it's sticking, but I'm gonna lay it aside to cool for a minute, and I'm gonna show you what I did months ago. Don't say anything, I know it's crooked. This is what I did a month or so ago and put in my kitchen window. And I know it moved, it's crooked. But it's a very smooth, and it was done with a cling wrap, and it has not come loose on any of the edges. So I went over it with Mod Podge, and what I want to see if I can do is stencil on a napkin. So This is gonna be a first, we're gonna see. And then we'll do that one. Okay. So this is this is just says farmhouse and it's new. I had not used it before, so I'm gonna fuzz it several times. Have any of you tried to stencil on napkins? I know you can stencil on scrapbook paper. I just wondered, napkins are so delicate. I didn't know if it was going to pull up the napkin, but we're fixing to find out. I mean, worst case scenario, I give this to Ed and tell him to go sand all this off. Okay. Let's see. Oops. And I'm just going to put this across here. And it will look crooked also because my lines are crooked. Okay. I'm going to push that in. And I'm going to use this pretty yellow. And I added a little bit of water to it. And I added a little bit too much. So this may bleed. And it may not show up real well, but it's a little thinner than it needs to be. But I just wanted to see if it would pull up the napkin. Nope. It actually looks kind of gold. I don't know if y'all can see it. Can you see the farmhouse?
I don't know that it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but I wasn't that concerned about the
Cara Marie says I've painted on napkins but not stenciled.
well, evidently you can stencil because that didn't even try. Oh, put this in the water for me. That didn't even try to pull up the napkin at all. Now, like I said,
Sticky side up.
yeah. I'm gonna wash it in a minute here anyway. Doesn't matter. Just lay it down in there. But this has been sitting for a while. I don't know if that makes any difference or not, but it did not even try to pull up that napkin. So I may try a larger piece. We'll see. But, okay, so that got that. Oh, you knew I wasn't going to make it all the way through. I didn't get a sanding block. So we're going to sand this like we always do. And I'm assuming all this unused saran wrap will just sand off. Okay, I think this one ought to be. Yeah, it does. Just pulls right off. It's very smooth. It almost looks like it's been painted on. And I think all I'm going to do is wrap some jute around the top. But it is a really cute bunny. This will look really cute on a tiered tray. And someone is going to, I'm going to give it to somebody here in a minute. Let me push the hole there a little bit. Probably should have used a pencil or something to get that through there. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that, but it is really, really smooth. You would think it's painted on. So that part of it I really like. That it's such a good fit and thin that it look. Don't you think, Ed? Doesn't it look like you painted on it?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty.
It's a good fit. Okay, I'm just going to take a little bit of. Oops, and I didn't put my glue gun on. Okay, That's okay. It'll take a minute. So all I'm going to do, y'all, for this is just put, because I'm going to give this away. When I get off, I will heat up the glue gun. You actually can unplug the iron too, both of them. And I'm just going to wrap this top right here with the jute and put a little bow right there. So, let's see, have we talked about everything we were going to talk about tonight? I think we have. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll through again and just kind of pick somebody and send out happy mail, which will be this little.
And you picking from the comments, correct?
This little shelf sitter. And I'll get down in there and try to get those pieces. But I'm also going to add this little guy. This is one I made several months ago. And I already have one for my tier tray. So somebody is going to get these two made up. Okay, so I just want y'all to know how much we appreciate you joining us every live. And so let me see.
I'm commenting.
Sandy Finley Renshaw said turned out very pretty. So Sandy, if you'll send me your address, I'm going to be shipping these two things to you. And this won't stand up by itself, but it could be propped up on your tier tray or kitchen windowsill. And I'm not going to treat it with anything. I don't think this one's been treated either. I normally don't treat my napkins that I'm going to put it in the house. If you want to treat it, you can run some Mod Podge over it or use the spray. I like the spray because I used a different brush for this one and it worked better. Normally when I try to Mod Podge something, I see the brush strokes. So I used a different nylon brush. No, wait a minute. I actually bought a Mod Podge brush that's real nylon things, and I used it, and I don't see it as much. But I'm not going to seal these, so if you want to seal these, just put some Mod Podge on them. Otherwise, just, decorate with them like they are. Don't put them where they'll get wet. So anyway, I appreciate y'all being here tonight. So I think this one turned out really cute. I love the napkin that just goes all the way across.
Turn him up a little flat. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. That one turned out really cute. And then you can, that's dry now, you can use a napkin and stencil on it. I would just say put the napkin and seal it and then wait several days. This one's been sealed for, like I said, a month. But you can use wax, or you can use Mod Podge, or you can use the spray sealer. And then you can Mod Podge on a napkin. And then we made this cute thing tonight. And as soon as my glue gets hot, I will put the twine around it and put a bow. And then I didn't write down who Maria. Write that down for me on that board. Maria won the napkins and the boards to make her own crafts. So, all right, well, I appreciate y'all being on here tonight. So that was Maria and who did we say? Wasn't it
Maria Francisco, wasn't it?
Sandy, wasn't it? Sandy Renshaw. Yeah. It was Maria Francisco and Sandy Renshaw. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. And I will be back Thursday, and we are going to finish up with Easter. I still have 5 or 6 things that I was going to show y'all, but we'll go over them, and I'll tell you. I may not do them all, but I'll tell you how you can get things from the Dollar Tree and make some really cute decorations for Easter. But I want to start in April with our spring and summer stuff, and I have some ideas for that. But I will be back Thursday night at 6 o'clock, and we will finish up with Easter. Thank y'all. I hope you have a great week, and thank you so much for being here. Bye.